NCAA Pick'em Boys 2025 Week 1. We have made it. We have finally made it. The long-awaited season is here. Got to get into a couple things, a couple of announcements, and then we'll get into a couple of picks and a couple of games. First, picks are due Saturday, August 30th at 11 a.m. Central Time. Central Time. That will never change. 11 a.m. Saturday, every freaking week. First game is also tomorrow, August 28th at 4:30 Central Time. Good old Boise, ranked 25 against South Florida. I would say check that game out. That's going to be a good one. And then last but not least, if you don't already know the pick'em, go watch the tutorial video because I'll teach you everything about the pick'em and the side pool, which I'll bring up one more time. It is Pick'em Survivor. It's $10 entry. You get one life, one pick a week. You just got to pick a winner, and you can't use that team twice. And it's a winner take all. So if you get eliminated, you lose one pick, you're out completely. Now, with that being said, I got to introduce the panel, the boys, for starting with the college football expert, Jerry Stovall, and a step in for Peter. We don't care about Peter. The OG, Steven. How we doing, boys, today?
Man, you keep calling me an expert year in and year out. I'm far from it, but this year's going to be different. I am going to stop thinking like more statistically, going to go with my gut, and I think my gut's right on week 1. We'll test it out.
Yeah,
Steven, what about
Jerry,
you?
I feel like you slowly worked your way up the leaderboard last year out of last place, and maybe this could be your year. So I'm rooting for you, man. I really am.
He always hangs around the 75 percentile in the opposite direction, but that's okay, man. Maybe you can find yourself out of the rough. I mean, you are my little diamond in the rough.
As long as I'm number 1 on someone's list.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get on number 1 on somebody's list too, man. Let me know when you find out. Anyways, we're going to talk about 3 big old games this week with teams that are ranked arguably maybe shouldn't be the number that they are, but they're ranked regardless. But we're going to start with the good old 11 a.m. slot on Saturday here on Fox. We got ranked number 1 Texas at ranked number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State projected to win by 2.5. Now, if I might give my 2 cents real quick, if I pull up these stats. Okay. All I got to say. I don't think Arch Manning has proven himself, but I think that the Texas offense has. Where I would say that the O-line gives quarterbacks a lot of opportunity, and if Arch Manning could capitalize on that, Texas will have Ohio State dead to rights. And what's that quarterback's name? Sayin? Yeah, something like that. He's going on the big stage for the first time, right? At Ohio State, playing in like one of the hardest, biggest, loudest stadiums. So it's one of those like a quarterback that really wants to prove himself with a great offense at Texas. And then we got Ohio State with a fresh new quarterback. Kind of dicey. I got Texas to at least cover 2.5.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that confident. I think there's a lot. This game is like the only out of the 3 games we're going to do. This game is really the only toss up to me. The other 2 games I'm certain about. This one is kind of strange. I mean, you have similar quarterback situations with Manning and Sayin. You have Texas, whose offensive line is the biggest question on their team. It was already questionable, and then they lost their starting right tackle in fall camp. So, I mean, that's a huge question. But then again, Ohio State has a new defensive coordinator. They let Jim Knowles go, and they lost like 3 of their biggest producers on defense. So I don't know. I mean, I really like Texas' defense. You have Simmons, you got Taft, my favorite linebacker in college. You have Anthony Hill. But then on Ohio State, you got Jeremiah Smith. And then on defense, you have Caleb Downs. So I honestly feel like this one's a toss-up. I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to stay far away from it. I'm not going to pick it. I think it's really, really interesting. I think that the venue is going to play a little bit of a factor. I think it would more so if it was being played at night. But I'm going to ride with the Longhorns, man. I am. I'm going to pick them to cover. The main reason is because my brother's a Longhorns fan, and that's my boy, so I'm going to ride with him. And then 2, I feel like Jim Knowles is the best in the business, and the fact that he's gone makes me kind of a little bit weary about the Ohio State Buckeyes. But another reason why I won't pick this for betting or in the league is because I think everybody's nervous about Sayan being like a first-year quarterback. But
Yeah.
You could talk as much crap as you want about Ryan Day, but Ryan Day, every team he's coached, the quarterback has been amazing. Their worst quarterback has been Kyle McCord, who lit it up for like over 4,000 yards in his season and then went on to Cuse to also light it up. So that guy just doesn't coach bad quarterbacks. So this one, I think, could really go either way. I think Texas defense is a little bit better, though, so I'm going to take the Longhorns.
So I'm going to feed off of you. I think you're on point for a majority of it. First off, Gavin, you're wrong about the offensive line being a strong suit for Texas. Do you know how many returning starters they have on offense? Plus or minus 5.
They're paying them?
It doesn't matter how much they're paying. How much are they? How much are they experienced?
Hey, wait and see, man. Wait and see.
You're right, and that's the great thing about Week 1. Preseason rankings don't mean jack squat.
True.
They are just a popularity contest. None of these teams, including my Tigers, deserve to be ranked. They only after 4 or 5 weeks should there be a ranking. But I digress with that. Texas is returning 3 starters on offense. You have Andre Green at wide receiver, Boley at left tackle, and Noah Josie, I think is how you pronounce it, at left guard. So the left side, the backside of Manning should be good, but there's 5 offensive linemen that you need at minimum to protect him. And let's say it what it actually is. He is a green quarterback. He is brand spanking new, just like it is with Ohio State. Where Ohio State can struggle is on the opposite side of the ball for Texas. They do return 6, where you have your 3 linebackers back, you have 2 cornerbacks coming back, and your safety coming back. So their defense, outside of the defensive line, is stacked. I'm concerned about Texas's defensive line because Bo Davis, their defensive line coach, has been removed for 2 years. And I mean, you need to have a strong defensive line. Should they have one? Yes. But again, it's Week 1. You're going to have a lot more stars that are going to get the ball on the Ohio State side. And Manning's going to need to get them the ball very quickly. I don't think he can do it, at least in Week 1. I think the pressure is going to be too much. He's going to have essentially freshman quarterback jitters. And I don't think he's going to be that good in the entirety of the season, to be completely honest. But
it's crazy.
The fact that it's a Week 1 matchup, that it's on the road in a big-time environment like Ohio State, I don't like Texas for this matchup. I'm not going to pick them, but I do like Ohio State to not only cover but win.
Well, I feel like that's not 100% accurate because he's not completely green. I mean, he started, what was it, 2 games last year or 3 games last year, and he played pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been
in spotlight positions.
He did. He started when Quinn was out with his oblique injury. I think he started
you're
versus
right. There was
and he
a few.
started versus, was it Mississippi State? I forget. And he played pretty good. And I'll
Mississippi
say that,
State was in the game for at least a half of it. Like their defense didn't show up.
I thought he got 2 starts that he played relatively good in.
Yeah,
for like
he had 2 starts. I can't tell you what the 2 games were, but
his feet are wet-ish. You know, they're not completely dry.
Way more wet.
And if you're going to have a crappy O-line, it is kind of a fail-safe to have a quarterback that could, get out of the pocket. So, again, I don't know. I think it's a toss, but I like Arch, man. I think the hype is real. I think he's going to be pretty good.
I think he's bred for it. I think he's bred for this moment.
I
Yeah.
mean,
If there was a time to capitalize and show out and really like make a name for yourself, it'd be this game.
It's this game. It's now. I mean, you are the undisputed starting quarterback now. I absolutely 100% agree. But the two games that it appears that he started was against UL Monroe, which we both know, or we all know, they were the worst team in the nation last year, arguably, and then Mississippi State. But the stats aren't anything impressive. Like, yeah, he threw for 325 yards against Mississippi State, but only 2 touchdowns. With that kind of yardage, I'm expecting 4 or 5.
But I mean, we're running on minimum stats here.
No, the stats are 26 of 31 for 325 yards with 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about like 2 halves of games. I mean, like, how would he perform in a season? Like, I haven't seen him play from a first quarter to a fourth quarter. And
okay, well, let's try this. I mean, it's not a full game, but one tough opponent that he had to go in for was Georgia. 3 for 6, 19 yards, nothing. For Florida,
that was like situationally, it wasn't really like he went in.
Right. But I mean, it's like when he actually plays against opponents, he's nothing special. Like, again, it's situational. It's a little snippet of the entire game, but we have to go based off of what we've seen. And what I've seen is nothing impressive that would live up to the Manning name and preseason Heisman favorite. I don't see it.
I mean, what sucks about all this is that, like, you never know how a team is going to play legitimately until they actually play. So, like, all of our opinions are taken with a grain of salt right now because we have no earthly idea. but 100%. I do like. I mean, I'd love to see Texas do something great.
Did we even mention that Trevion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins are gone and they have a whole new backfield versus Texas defense? I think that could be a thing.
I mean, it's ultimately going to come down to how good the defensive line for Texas is going to be. Like, their linebackers should be very good. Their defensive backs should be very good. If they actually have a defensive line show up, it will be heavily in Texas's favor. But I'm not convinced. It's hard to tell, but I'm not convinced that they're going to have the defensive line to do that.
I don't blame you.
Especially seeing that Ohio State's left guard, center, right guard, and tight end are returning. They have a total of 6 returning starters for Ohio State's offense.
Yeah, I don't think they were very good last year, though,
on
the offensive line. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's like the perfect way to start a college football Saturday. Texas and Ohio State at 11 a.m. It's beautiful.
I mean, off the rip. It's great.
Dude, I'm pumped. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Let's go on to the next game here at, Lord have mercy, at 6:30 on Saturday p.m. for those nuts. We got ranked 9 LSU at rank 4 Clemson. Clemson projected to win by 3.5. And that line is holding firm, which is impressive because I thought money was going to push this game one way or the other, a little more towards LSU. But Jerry, thoughts?
So I've been keeping up with Matt Moscona over on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge about the LSU during the 2-a-days or the fall camp and how it compares to with Clemson. And a lot of people are saying that LSU and Clemson are almost carbon copies of each other. Where Clemson has the upper hand is the defensive line. They've returned quite a few starters. They are very good in every other aspect of the defensive side of the ball. You have probably the 2 best quarterbacks throughout the entire season this year in Klubnik and Nussmeier. It's going to be a shootout. It's ultimately going to come down to whose running game is going to take control of this. Because LSU's running game or running offense has not been good these last couple of years. And you need to keep them on their toes and have the safeties have to cheat in to get the running game or to open up the passing game. And LSU's passing game, they have 8 to 11 starting wide receivers that are going to be studs. It would not surprise me if Nussmeier threw for over 300 yards and had at least 3 touchdowns. It also wouldn't shock me to see Klubnik do the exact same thing. But I do think, as much as it pains me, I do think Clemson is going to have the upper hand with this, with it being up over at Clemson, with it being a 6:30 kickoff. That stadium's going to be rocking, and the experience that they have on the defensive line compared to LSU's offensive line, which we did get experienced transfers in the transfer portal, but we lost more than half of the offensive line. It's a offensive line group that has not had a lot of snaps or reps together, and you need to have that continuity with an offensive line if you're going to be successful. So I do think LSU is going to drop this one. And with it being, what was the spread?
It was.
I'm not seeing
It's
it.
4.5. It's a 4.5.
Four and a half?
No.
Yeah,
Well, because we have to go off of Splash, which is 3.5. Because those lines don't shift once they're released, they're sitting. But I mean, according to ESPN, their line hasn't moved. I don't think.
So I mean, I think Clemson will win this game, but it's honestly a toss. I don't know what to pick for who's gonna cover the spread.
I mean, yeah, because 3.5, that's a field goal and some change. And it's some change that make it difficult, because I do think that if LSU can create some turnovers fast, it has to be fast. I think LSU could hang in for a good while. I think Nussmeier has proven himself. I think he's earned the trust of the locker room, regardless of a shaky O-line with new people. I think through the offseason has gained a lot of trust with the locker room and has kind of earned his stripes, where I actually think that with the wide receivers and him having a lot more confidence walking in this season, I think LSU could win this outright.
I mean, with how the spread or the scores have been in the previous 2 games against USC and Florida State, I believe they only lost with a combined point total of 4 points or something, but those were neutral sites. I think it's going to be different. I do think Clemson will be able to cover the spread.
Nah, I take LSU. I mean, if my gambling, legitimately, I'm hammering the under beyond belief. 57.5 is way too high with Clemson's defense, but Steven, shaking your head a lot these days.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I have strong thoughts about this game. I think the only way LSU stays in it is if Nussmeier becomes the next coming of Joe Burrow. If he really, really shows out, and I just don't think he's going to have the opportunity to do it. LSU was so bad at running the ball last year when they had 4 out of 5 starters that got drafted, and now they have 4 out of 5 new people coming in, going against Woods and Parker, which are, I think, besides Simmons, probably the 2 best defensive line in all of college football. They are studs. They're dudes. They might be the dudiest dudes in all of college football. And if they can't run the ball, and if they could they're just pinning their ears back all game and just getting after Nussmeier, it's going to be a long day for LSU. And I think Klubnik is he's just primed to have a really, really good season. They're 14-1 in their last 15 home games in Death Valley at night, or just in general. And then I have BK PTSD. So, I don't think
crazy.
Brian Kelly's 0-3 since he got to LSU in his openers, and to tell me that BK is going to walk into Clemson and beat Clemson week 1 with the team that they have, with the question marks that they have, And then I know that LSU, they hired a new D coordinator, right? Was it Minnesota's D coordinator? He's pretty good.
No. So Blake Baker, this is his second year at LSU. He came from Missouri,
Missouri.
and
Okay.
I think this is the first time in quite some time that LSU hasn't really had that big of a shakeup when it comes to coaching. They still
Yeah.
have offensive coordinator Joe Sloan, which he worked with Jaden Daniels when he won the Heisman, which was year 2 as a starter. Joe Burrow was also year 2 as a starter, but that was a Joe Brady, Steve Ensminger offense. But
Yeah.
if history repeats itself, Nussmeier should be a Heisman winner. So let's hope for that. The other
I mean, he's
aspect
a
of it,
stud.
I think the only coach that they did lose was Bo Davis, who was the defensive line coach. He went to the New Orleans Saints, but they picked up former LSU great and Buffalo Bills defensive lineman Kyle Williams, who there's a completely different type of defensive line that they like to work with. With Bo Davis, they wanted big, girthy men, like 330 plus. But with Kyle Williams, he likes to essentially have defensive ends across the entire front. And so they're quick. They should be able to penetrate. But I mean, you're right. It's going to be ultimately up to the offensive line versus Clemson's defensive line. And the other thing to really remember, Jack Pyburn with Florida, he's a defensive end over at LSU now. We have Harold Perkins in the star position and Whit Weeks, and that they call him the honky badger at linebacker. He is going to be flying all over the field. The one benefit which I forgot to mention, I mean, Klubnik is not a scrambling quarterback like we saw with Jaden Milroe
That's
and
true.
was it Reed over at A&M, because he's almost like Nussmeier, where he's more of a pro style. He can run, but he's not a dual threat. I think that is a slight advantage for LSU.
Yeah, they're minor league Tom Brady's.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
So
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, the style of play, I wouldn't go with skill level, but definitely like style.
Klubnik's athletic. I mean, he could get out of the pocket.
He's very, very athletic.
No, for sure. But like he's one that likes to stick in the pocket if he can. If you want, like if he had a choice, he'd rather stick in the pocket than try to go outside his bounds. But I mean,
you got to feel good as an LSU fan having Nussmeier as your quarterback. You do, because it means you could potentially have a great season. I feel like I have no idea how they're ranked number 9. No clue. It makes 0 sense to me because I feel like they just didn't show anything last year to be ranked number 9. And I just think that if they can't run the ball like they couldn't run the ball last year, it's going to put Nussmeier in impossible positions like he was put in last year. So,
but he was still productive. And don't forget, he was still very productive, being one-dimensional.
Has the stats to show it.
Also, the defense, though, right? I mean, I feel like the defense has a lot to prove this year. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if LSU came out and did well, but just the last season would tell me that Clemson will win this game. And I love Clemson's D-line. I think they're going to be one of the best D-lines in football this year.
And you're taking it at 3.5.
It's going to be interesting. And it's just going to be an amazing game. Clemson LSU, a night game, first week 1. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be cool.
What, 3.5?
Yeah. Still Clemson.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Nah, I got LSU outright.
Now, for the listeners, do not pick this game. I've told you all last year, never bet on an LSU game, especially a week 1 LSU. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, I would tell everybody don't gamble the first week of college football until you see everybody play. But I'm gonna.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go into the last game here this fine evening. This one's on Sunday, believe it or not, folks. We got ranked 6 Notre Dame at ranked 10 Miami. Notre Dame projected to win by 2.5, and this game, for anybody that cares, is at 6:30 p.m. One of 2 games, so you can't miss it. Steven, give me the juice, bro. Give me the juice.
Yeah, man. I think this could be such a good game. I really do. I think it's it's like such an intriguing matchup. I think we're going to win. I would say I feel fairly confident in picking us for the spread. But dude, there's just so many different aspects of this game that I'm interested in. They're kind of like Notre Dame a little bit. Like they're really focused on the offensive line and defensive line. I think our roster is a lot more talented on Notre Dame's side, but I mean they're loaded too, and they got Carson Beck from Georgia. I will say the last time that he was throwing the ball really well, he was throwing to Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey. And then when he lost them, he stopped really throwing it that well. But they got a good team. Like their offensive linemen, I think they average like 330 pounds. Like they're huge. And their defensive lines are really good too. They got Bain, and he's a savage. He's a dude. So it's going to be really, really interesting, man. I just think that Notre Dame, besides the quarterback, isn't a question mark. That's the only question mark with Notre Dame. Offensive line set, defensive line set, defense in general, still going to be one of the best defenses this year, just like they were last year. They're returning pretty much everybody except for Xavier Watts, Jack Kaiser, but we got dudes that stepped up and are going to come in for them. And I'm just excited to see how it turns out, man. CJ Carr, I don't know if you know, so he's the grandson of Lloyd Carr. That was the last head coach that has a legitimate national championship for Michigan. So he comes from family or like football royalty, and he's just a stud, man. He plays like a mixture of Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I'm not going to say he's going to be as good as them, but he has like the same athleticism of getting out of the pocket, scrambling around, making very accurate throws. He has a super high IQ. And I'm just excited to see him go, man. I feel like if the quarterback hits and Notre Dame's ceiling is super high, and if it doesn't hit, well, then we'll probably struggle. But the thing with Miami that I feel like people have to take into account is they brought in so many transfers. They've lost every starting receiver. They brought back a lot of their own line, but then they bring in Carson Beck into a completely new scheme. It's not going to be the Cam Ward offense. And when has a completely new team full of transfers been able to hit and run well on week one? It just doesn't really happen that often. So I think they have a lot more challenges than we do. And I think with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, we're going to be able to run the rock. And then, we transferred in Malachi Fields and Will Pauling, and we got Jaden Greathouse coming back. I think we're the favorable team, but I think it'll be a competitive game. But I think we'll cover.
So, quick question: how many touchdown passes does Notre Dame's quarterback have going into this season?
0.
You're right. The only benefit that he has with this Notre Dame offense right now is that this is technically year 2 to learn the system, which is not anything to laugh at. That is a very good thing, something that you rarely see in quarterbacks nowadays. Like they just don't stay for their sophomore season or redshirt freshman in this matter. So I think his inexperience in the big games is going to be not a detriment, but it's something to definitely keep an eye on, especially when you have Beck at Miami, who has 3 or 4 years experience, not at like a rinky-dink school either. Like he has SEC experience, which, yeah, they haven't won the last 2 national championships, but it's still something that you don't really laugh at either. Where it's beneficial for Notre Dame is that they bring back 11 starters, 15. 3 of which,
all right.
I mean, from what I see on CBS Sports, they're reporting 11, where you do have Jeremiah Love at running back, Greathouse at wide receiver, but the most important one that we've been talking about this entire episode has been the offensive line. You have a left tackle coming back, a left guard coming back, and a right tackle coming back, which, the tackles for the offensive line are the most important positions on the line. Right. So that's really good there. And then you also have 6 returners on the defensive side of the ball coming back, going from defensive line all the way to safety. So that's beneficial there as well. I mean, yeah, Miami does return 8 total, primarily on the defensive side of the ball, where I think this sequel to the Catholics versus Convicts, it's going to be a little bit in Miami's favor because of the fact that you have an experienced quarterback with Carson Beck. You have 5 returners on defense, 2 of which are on the defensive line, and you have the inexperience at quarterback for Notre Dame. Plus, I mean, are we really not trying to take a jab at Notre Dame? But last time I remember when I visited up there for the college football Hall of Fame ceremony, they like to have their games played at like 11 a.m. to allow their fans to go home at a reasonable hour. Are we sure that Notre Dame's going to travel to Miami and be able to stay up for a 7:30 kickoff? I don't think
I don't
so.
know. Did they travel to Texas A&M in last year's opener, Gavin?
Yes, sir. They did. They did. They did. But where did they go after that? I forget.
They went home.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
they went to the national championship. So
fair point.
I don't think we need to look up the results of the national championship, though, do we?
No,
I think we need to look at the results of either of y'all's season last year.
Hey, you're never going to hear me brag about A&M. You'll never hear it out of me, ever.
Their
Jerry's
national championship is like
years. I've never bragged about them.
Like the A&M's national championship is late October, early November, so we'll be sure to have a commemorative cup made sometime this season for Gavin and those Aggies.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Listen, okay, the QB situation, I would say that Carr's misunderstood in the position that he's in, where like Beck was transferred, right? And I would say Carr is crafted for this spot. Recruited and crafted for this spot. Like they're forming him to be the Notre Dame quarterback, and I think that holds a lot more value, especially in a system that's on their second year. They had a great first year too. Second thing I'll say, Notre Dame was a covering team last year, 9-1.
They were the best against the spread in all of college football, weren't they, last year?
I don't know if they were the best, but I think they're hanging up with the best for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I would say is Cristobal loves to lose in the spotlight. I don't know what it is, but like when it comes to spotlight, man, forget team stats. Throw it all out the window. When there's a big game, even as much as like Georgia Tech, I mean, he'll throw in the towel and lose that game somehow. So based on like those gambling stats alone, I'm taking Notre Dame 6 ways from Sunday. I'm surprised the spread's not at like 6.5, but
yeah, it's going to be wet. There's rain in the forecast, so I think that's having a little bit to do with it. But
yeah, screams the under too.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I do want to give Miami their flowers and Mario Cristobal his flowers, because since he's got to Miami, they've gotten better every single year.
I don't disagree.
Their trajectory is pretty impressive from when he's got there. So I think they're going to be good this year. I think they lose to us, but then I think they win a lot of games and maybe sneak into the playoffs. I just think that there's a lot of benefit to not being a transfer quarterback, because you go into this new system with a whole new team. He didn't transfer with his offensive coordinator like a lot of people do, like at Oklahoma or Indiana. So he's in a brand new system with all new receivers, and it just takes a while for those quarterbacks to really hit their stride. So I think it'll help him being at home. But I mean, Notre Dame's our secondary was the best in college football last year, and I don't think they're going to miss a beat this year. I mean, we do have a new defensive coordinator, so that's a question mark. We lost Al Golden. Now we have Chris Ash, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I don't know. I'm excited. And I know Jerry. I know you know who Denbrock is, and he's going to be CJ Carr's coordinator, and I feel pretty good about that. I think he's a genius. So I
think it's going to be a fantastic fit for Carr.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about the fact that he hasn't had a college snap, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think he got injured before he could even take a college snap, and having a game like your very first game being on the road against Miami, that's a tough one. That's a tough position for any quarterback.
Yeah, but it's also an amazing opportunity to start building your legacy.
That's true.
And make a story for yourself. Everybody has to start their first game, so I think it could be great. I would expect it. I think a big win from him would just to be pretty average his first game and try to protect the ball and, get the ball to Jeremiah Love and Jadarian and, just kind of manage the game and not lose it and take a couple shots. But he had this interview today that I really liked. They said, has your grandfather given you any advice? And he said, yeah, he was saying, we're football. You got football in your blood. And, I don't know if he said he's football royalty, but he said, just attack and don't look back. And I was like, oh, dang, that's kind of cool. I was like, I'm excited because he's got a cannon and he throws the ball real well. So could be a disaster. Could be really well, but I'm just excited to see it.
I just love how all these 3 games just turned into the moral of the story is quarterbacks need to prove themselves these first games because that's all we talk. Yeah. Okay. Listen.
Yeah.
I found my future bet. Any guesses?
Is it on one of these 3?
No. My future title pick. Champion.
Oh, is it the Irish?
No. It's not any of these teams we just talked about.
Oh, then who knows? There's 136 teams.
Vanderbilt, 1,000-1.
They're going to probably finish second to last in the SEC this year. Vanderbilt sucks. Pavia is a joke. He talks too damn much. He's got his 15 minutes of fame, and he ain't going nowhere this year. I guarantee it. He's going to get steamrolled. I think they were like 4. What was their conference record last year? Like 3-6?
Listen, the SEC shorts would have a mouthful to say to you right now.
He's not good, man. As soon as everybody got tape on him, he stopped being effective. He's just a loudmouth who likes to spotlight.
Now, you hold your breath and wait, brother. 1,000-1.
I will bet you as much money as you want on a Vanderbilt bet.
I can't. I'm just going to put my $2 on the future bet. Might make 2 G's. You're going to
buy myself a motor scooter. Lose that $2.
Listen, you look at the rest of the future bets. The odds aren't good. They're 5-1, 6-1. Those aren't odds I'm willing to hang my hat on, especially to watch a team that I put a future bet on lose right out of the gate.
You know what I thought was a good future? I think Jeremiah Love for Heisman was at 3,400. I know it's really hard for running backs to win the Heisman nowadays, especially after last year, but they announced that they were going to put him on kickoff return. And I thought if he had a stellar season and a few kickoffs returned for touchdown, that could be a pretty good case. He's plus 3,500 or something like that. So,
I mean, essentially for a running back or a wide receiver to even be considered nowadays, they have to play special teams and get the ball a whole lot of time.
Yeah, you got to take a few to the house.
I love Elsmeyer at 9-1 though.
I think that's a pretty good bet.
That's a good one.
9-1's good odds.
Yeah, he'll light it up this year.
Yeah, I'm sure all these odds are going to shift catastrophically after the first week. But does anybody have anything else to add?
I'm just excited, man. I'm pumped up. It's going to be a good season.
Rough. It's going to be a rough week 1 probably for a lot of people, but I mean the season is long, not long enough in my opinion.
Agreed.
But I mean you can't believe me coming from me. Don't get discouraged if the win-loss record doesn't look great after week 1. There's enough games out there to bounce back.
Yeah, nobody knows how any of these teams are going to do. Nobody's watched anybody play, so.
I mean that's false. I watched Iowa State, Kansas State, Nichols. What was it? Incarnate Word. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. I guess that's a fair point. I guess I watched those too, but the other teams. But yeah. So I mean, yeah. Have some fun the first week, and then dig in second week. Get with it, But let me reiterate. Please join the league ASAP. You're running out of time because as commissioner, I cannot add you into a league that people have already picked because that would not be fair to everybody else that put money in. Also, the Pick'em Survivor, once again, $10 entry, 1 life, 1 pick a week. You can only use that team once, winner take all. And last but not least, picks are due Saturday, August 30th at 11 a.m. Central Time, always every Saturday. First game, August 28th, 4:30 Central, tomorrow. And boys, I appreciate you. And as always, happy picking.